think the name of it was the Bloody Mary nymph. We're gonna change up the colors just a bit, but I want to keep that initial concept. It had a thread or floss body with a peacock curl wrapped teleco style, and counter wrapped with a rib, with a soft hackle collar. Just a nice dainty pattern, a real looker. So we'll try to do that, see how it turns out. But I'm thinking instead of red thread, I would do a orange. That's what I was thinking. We'll see what it looks like. Or maybe even a green would be good. Or a blue. Yeah, maybe we'll try blue. This will be like, give steelhead vibes. I've seen some steelheaders use blue nymph patterns. So we'll start with a little buyout for the tail. Clip a few of those out. And then we'll do one on each side. 1, 2, other side. Measure it out, 1, 2. Let's draw them back. Nice and far. Give it some tension so they flare. And then we'll wrap up and trim those out. All right. We have a blue floss we can use. Oh, rough. Floss is in rough condition. Take out some of our blue floss. And we'll dull it over. Try to even it out if we can. And we'll tie that in all the way back. Then we'll do the peacock curl. One strand. Trim it up. Tie it in. I'm building up a little thread here to try to get a little taper. And then we need a rib. We could do, I think the black wire is the way to go. But in my scrap rib pile, all I'm seeing is, yeah, here's a little piece of black wire. And do a little black wire for the rib. Tie that in nice and high, travel down. You can leave a little gap as we start. The rib will be the last thing we wrap. So we're gonna need some wraps behind that rib. So let's gather our materials. The peacock is here, the wire rib is there. I'm going to split, put it behind the wire rib, and then travel forward, travel forward, travel forward, travel, 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 and trap. And trim that out. Let's secure it a couple reps. Now, next we'll do the peacock. The peacock isn't going to be tied in with connecting wraps or concurrent wraps, but let's do it clockwise. Same direction we tied in the floss. We're gonna put some gaps in there. I don't know if I wanted that gappy. Yeah, that looks good. And tie it off. Next, we're going to counter wrap the wire rib. It's going to go in the other direction, trapping as much of the peacock as it can get. And we got 3 turns of it, which is fine. We'll stop there. Next, we need to do a soft hackle. We could do CDC collar as well. We might have to, let's just see if we have the right hackle first. Let us see. I didn't even look for a soft hackle. I have this very webby saddle that's good for streamers, but I want to use it for the collar. So I'm gonna cut out that section, measure about how much you need. I think that's good. Then I'm gonna trim out the feather. That's more than enough. Gently pull out the rest of that hackle. We'll split our thread. And then we'll insert the material from the clip into the thread. Close it up. I don't need all of it, so I'm going to pull this top bit out. I want about 1.5 wraps. And then I want to get the hackles positioned with the least amount of butts as possible. It's hard, but it'll have a cleaner look. If the butts are long, it's going to double up and it's going to be very, very full. Then we'll spin it up. Spin it up. Let's try to work them, separate them a bit. That's fine. And then we start wrapping. As we wrap, I'm going to preen back toward the bend. And if you do it well, it doesn't get bunchy. This isn't too heavily dressed and starting to get bunchy. And also a little bit, just a touch too long, but it'll work. It definitely will fish. I'm gonna let the thread unravel rather, and we'll call it good. It's a tractor pattern soft hackle. I'd fish this anywhere you would fish a stonefly pattern. Let that unwrap, and then we will do some securing wraps, not a lot, because we don't want that thread to build up. Then we'll whip it right behind that bead. Cinch it down. I'll do one more. Right behind that bead. We'll cinch it down. That's good. And then we'll clipper. And finished. Not terrible. I've certainly tied worse flies. So we'll put that to the side, and I want to do some smaller pheasant tails, which are not super exciting. But we'll try to make them exciting. Okay, here's a 16 with a 2.8 millimeter bead. This is probably 16, 14, 2.8 is my standard. I'd fish this alone. Adding a little bit of weight doesn't hurt. So I'm gonna do a couple wraps of lead-free round wire. .5, 0.015 diameter, so not too wide. And just need a little bit, inch. And I'm gonna put that right behind the bead. Just wrap it loose, and then kind of bunch it together. Wrap it loose. Wrap it loose. And bunch it together. Let's get those tag ends down. And bunch them together. This will help with some build up for the body as well. Then we'll secure it in with some thread wraps coming over the wire and down and back through. The wire is soft, the ends of the wire won't cut your thread, but it's a good idea to try to cover them if you can. Let's go ahead and pick the color of the pheasant tail. Our options are light or dark. I think we'll go with, this is more of a generic, normal color. I'm going to use 3 fibers for the tail, and I measure them out. Too loose, and then I'm going to draw them back. I don't want the tail fibers too long. Slightly shorter than the length of the body, I'd say. That's a little bit long, but we're going to keep it. And then we'll travel up and tie off the material up here. Clip it we need another bunch of pheasant tail we'll wrap for the body. You don't need a lot. 3, 4 is sufficient. I'm going to tie these in tip first, and then 2 loose wraps, and I'm going to draw them back, and we'll wrap these for the body. And then we have the leftover black wire we used. I think we have it. Where did it go? Maybe we don't have it. But here's a little, oh yeah, here it is. That leftover little bit of black wire we used for the previous fly, we'll use that here. You could do copper, you could do red, you could do any color wire. And we'll advance that. This is on a jig hook, so I'm not gonna bother with a wing case. Don't ask me why, some people do. Wrap the pheasant tail clockwise. This is your abdomen, all the way up. Cinch it down, trim it out, and then we'll counter wrap with the black wire, same thing we did with the last one. And trap it, tie it off, clip it out. You can helicopter that out. Most people don't suggest clipping wire with scissors, but these are actually very cheap scissors on purpose. So I am a heathen and I clip my wire with scissors. A piece of pheasant or peacock curl would be nice. You could do synthetic dubbing, flashy dubbing if you wanted. But we'll do the peacock curl. And we'll tie it in here. And we'll wrap that. This is our thorax. The colors are blending quite well. The peacock is light. The pheasant is really a coffee brown. So the colors are blending well. Because we tied in the lead-free round wire, the profile's a little bit wider too, which is nice. And then we'll finish this with a little bit of CDC. The color, you could go a lighter color or darker color. That's that's on you. I'm just looking to see if I have a feather that has some spare. That doesn't have spare, that's a whole feather, but we'll use it. This is like a slate gray color, which will be perfect. I don't need a lot. A ½ inch, trim it out. Same thing we did with that black hackle, we'll split the thread and spin. Split. And spin. It's a little bit heavy. And we're gonna preen this one. Let's try to get all those fibers moving in the same direction. Then we'll just slowly wrap and preen, wrap and preen and wrap. That's significantly too heavy. However, we're gonna keep it. We'll keep it. You could always just tear them out if you have a problem with it. And I'm gonna, there's some of the CDC fibers are quite long. I'm not gonna trim those out. I'm gonna keep them long. Trust me. You might want to trim it, make it kind of dainty looking. Don't do that. If they're crazy long, maybe you trim them out, but some nice long ones in there gives a good effect. And then you'll lose, it'll thin out on its own when you're fishing. That's a little bit heavier than I would normally dress it. And then we will cinch down the whip and trim it out. And that's the pheasant tail. There's so many variations of this fly. That is a variation, actually. No wing case, CDC legs. Quite the variation. Let's do... We'll do something small. Do a little like a Pheasant nymph. I gotta get the hook though. We're getting into a much smaller range. I put a 2.8 on it. It looks quite big on this. I'm gonna take it off. If you're fishing in the winter, you would need, you know, something heavy, something sparse. But I'm gonna go with a smaller bead. This is a 2. This is a 2 mil. Let's see what that looks like. Oh yeah, much better. I like the Pheasant nymphs a little. I like them in olive and brown. Some people will put a lot of flash on the smaller flies. Honestly, I don't think it's necessary. So we'll get our thread started. We'll do CDL for the tail. CDL is normally a dry fly material. It's quite thin. I'll do 3 CDL fibers. Measure them out. And tie them in. access if you need to. Thread is really the best body material for a nymph this size. So yeah, we're gonna do thread. We'll do thread. I'm gonna build up a little bit of taper here. That's all. You could stop here and probably catch a fish, no lie. Little sets of legs. The newer patterns all have these little detailed legs coming out the side. So I'm just thinking about how I want to do that. We'll do a dubbing thorax and a little pheasant wing case. This is the wing case. Oh no, I have this nice, this mallard feather is quite nice. Mallard is not a great material for a wing case, FYI. But I do like the color. So we'll tie in the mallard first, tip first. Trim out those tips. This is a jigged hook, so technically the wing case should go on top. Gets a little bit tricky. And then I'm gonna tie it pretty far back, at least halfway back. And then we'll do a little dubbing for the thorax. A little bit of dubbing for the thorax. Adding a UV flash material would be good for this step too, if you needed something a little bit fancier. We're gonna dub the thorax, paying attention to the material distribution. We're kind of balling up here. We don't want that. So I need a little bit more to even it out. Just a bit. And we'll wrap it and even that out. And we'll use some synthetic hair for our legs. I think black is going to be the closest match. Moose hair is also used frequently. And I really want to be cognizant of how much I'm using. I think that's good. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 hairs on each side. These are a little thin, but it'll work. So just nice on this side. Position, and then crank it down. We'll trim it out, and then we'll come back and do 6 on this side. Position, check it out. And then trim. We'll get the legs to size in a minute. We'll fold over that mallard. Trim that guy out. And then we'll whip it and get everything situated. Okay. Trim the thread. We're gonna clip our legs. Clean cut is fine. Clip our legs. And then we can just touch the top of the abdomen with the marker and just let it bleed just a bit. Yeah, there it goes. Coating with some resin. Some people do that, but really lightly dressed, slim mayfly nymph. Yeah. All right. Let's check the time. I think we got time for one more. We did some caddis larva the other day. We could do I've got this massive bead. I think this is like a 4 mil bead. And we got this big old hook. You could do some kind of rubber leg. Cranefly nymph would be good too. Let's change our thread. A little bit beefier thread. Let's think about what we want to tie. Whatever it's gonna be, I want to put some rubber up front. So before we secure that bead, let's tie in a little rubber up front. Get some horns going. Do loose wraps, give it a nice pull, and then tighten down. come back. I hope the bead will slide over that. I hope. Oh, we trapped our horn. Oh yeah. I'll slide. We gotta, there's such a big gap. It's gonna take a lot to lock that bead in. But I'm not gonna worry about it now. We'll tie in more material. Let's get our body going here. To me, this is looking like a kind of golden stonefly. We do like a Pat's rubber legs style. So we'll get more rubber off the back. I don't know if I want to do rubber in the middle. So I'm gonna just do front and back as of now. Give it a nice tug, tie it in. And build your taper. Oops. Thinking about the body. Dubbing would be easiest. Dubbing certainly would be the easiest. We could do like a 20-incher with rubber legs. Yeah, let's try that. So we'll do peacock curl for the body. A lot of it. That's three strands. Ooh, maybe I have a different peacock curl. I'm not seeing it. So we'll just keep doing what we're doing here. So we'll tie in the hurl all the way back. I don't want a long abdomen. Like, truthfully, I'd like to stop it right about there. Let's do some chartreuse wire. This will be our rib. Build up this middle a bit. And we want to stop, we want a short little abdomen for this. Because we're gonna add some soft tackle legs. We want the legs to play. Wrap the peacock for the abdomen. Stopping right there. And then we'll counter wrap with the chartreuse wire. Those are pretty messy counter wraps. We'll come in with the turkey wing for the wing case. I'm going to use these shorter, darker fibers. Lacquering the wing case is not a bad idea. I'm going to do tip first with the matte side up. I'm going to trim off the tips, but I want to time in tip first, matte side up. And I'm gonna kind of let them roll around. But we need it right at the peacock curl junction, right there. Let's test to see, yeah, it'll cover. And we will wrap that. Let's blend the dubbing for the thorax. We'll pull some of this synthetic and we'll mix it with a little natural. Where be the natural? Where be, ah, here it is. Okay. Blend that up, kind of tear that synthetic up. It's got nice and long fibers. Nice long fibers. Tear it up. Pterodactyl. And then we'll do a loose rope. Just gauging the length. Quite heavy. It'll tighten down though. That's a good length, then we'll tighten it down. And we will wrap it right back up against that wing case. We might need to add a little bit more. Oh man. And we forgot the dang legs. I'm gonna pull down the dubbing. It'll kind of accordion down, compress down. We gotta get some legs going. This hen cape has nice barred brown soft hackle. We'll use those for the legs. Get a good length and a strong feather. This one looks good. And then we will gauge the length, clip it, tie-in point. Ideally, you are prepping the tip side also, but I'm gonna, for the sake of time, I'm just gonna tie it in like this. Oh, buddy, getting messy. This is not how you do it. We want that feather sitting up top. And we want to tie it right back to our wing case. Okay. Pretty weak tie-in, but it'll do. Now we'll wrap our dubbing. That's fine. I'm gonna clean that up a bit. Clean that up a bit. We'll fold over our legs, sweeping them back. trapping and making sure they're sitting on top. Then we'll clip, and then we'll fold over our turkey tail. Nice and tight. We'll trap that, sink that as far down behind the bead as you can. And then we will trim that out. Work slow, don't trim your legs or your rubber. Work slow. A little pinch of dubbing behind the bead if you wanted to hide that thread buildup. That would be okay. We're just gonna do the thread buildup. I want to secure that bead. Yeah, that bead's not going anywhere. Then we whip, finish. The original 20-incher fly had buyout tail and no antenna. But this is kind of a girdle 20-incher, girdle incher. I'm gonna do one more. Oh, okay. Cinch that down. Trim it out. Everything is okay except we picked the wrong color thread, and then we picked the wrong feather for the legs. This side was better than this side, so it's a little bit imbalanced, but it'll work. Let's get the antenna length even, and then we'll make the tail slightly longer, and then that's our little stonefly. That'll work just about anywhere. A little spread on the antenna might be better as well. We tied that in too tight, but it's not going to hurt anything. Let's review today's progress. Coming out. Let's head over to the table. So we started today with this, I saw a pattern called the Bloody Mary, but it had red floss. I changed it to blue. Then we ribbed peacock with a black wire and then a black saddle for the legs. Then we did a pretty generic pheasant tail. You can see a little thread gap under the pheasant. I didn't wrap it well. And then we gave that a CDC collar, peacock thorax. Then we did a little bettis. We did mallard flank for the wing case, synthetic hair for the legs, CDL for the tail, and we tapped the thread for the abdomen. We tapped it with black marker. And we finished with a 20-incher with rubber legs and antenna. Rubber for the antenna and tail, peacock for the abdomen, soft tackle for the legs, turkey for the wing case, and some dubbing blend for the thorax. And that's it. I'm sorry, yeah, the screen went black, I think. So I apologize for that. But we'll see you next time.